Hey everyone, it's Kristen from the Crafty Kitchen, and our challenge this week for the Sweet Sassy Diva design team was to make something using our Bind It All, our Your Story, or our Cinch. Well, I don't have a Bind It All, and I wish I had a Your Story, but I don't, but I do have a Cinch. So I had seen a picture on the internet a while ago where someone had made a perpetual calendar, and basically what that means is it's a calendar with no years, and you just flip it for the days and the weeks and the months, and you can use it forever because it doesn't have a year on it. I wanted to make one. I think the person used the Bind It All, and the only reason I know that is because there were square holes, but I couldn't find any instructions, so I made them up. So we're gonna try it and see if it works. You need some chipboard, paper, stamps, and a Bind It All. This chipboard is I got it at Michael's. I teach the scrapbooking and paper crafting classes there, and the lady who works in the scrapbooking section, I asked her when the trucks came on Thursdays, if when she is sorting through the paper, if she would give me the cardboard backs, and she said sure, because I just throw them away. So now I have tons of 12 by 12 chipboard, and I didn't have to pay for it. So that is pretty neat. Okay, so for the base of our perpetual calendar, you need to cut an 8 by 12 inch piece. So this is already 12 by 12, we already know. And this is just my little cheapo paper trimmer. I have a nicer one, but I didn't want to use it to cut chipboard. So you usually for this little paper trimmer, what I have to do is cut it through and then flip it over and cut it again until I can wiggle it loose. So here's 8, and let's make sure that it's even. So here is our 8 by 12 piece of chipboard. And then I need to score it because this is going to make the triangle that goes on the bottom. So I need to take my scoreboard and I need to score it at 4.5 and at 7.5. All right, so here is our triangle, and then we're going to bind the top of each of the 8-inch sides. But before we bind it, I want to cover it. So what I need to do is cut 4.5 by 8-inch pieces. That's for this side, this side, this side, and this side, because you'll see these through the back. And then one that is a 3 by 8 for this part. Now you don't need to cover the bottom of the triangle just because you'll never see it. So the paper I chose for the base, I want it to be black and white. So this is from the Black Currant stack. So I'm gonna have this one be on the bottom and the inside, and then I'm gonna have this one be on the outside. So let me get those cut up and we will be right back. All right, here is our finished board. I glued all of the paper down. The next thing we need to do is punch the holes. So I've got my cinch, and we need to punch on each of the 8-inch sides. So for something that's 8 inches long, we need to punch it through normally, and then we need to do it again and pull peg 4. So I've got my guide in all the way, my chipboard pushed all the way to the back. All my pegs are pushed in, and then I'm just going to punch. Alright. So we've got all that, and then we need to pull this out. Put this in the hole to keep it in place. In the second to last hole. So this one right here. And then I need to pull peg 4 and punch. Okay, now it's perfectly even on both sides. So I'm just going to do the other side. Perfect. So now when you fold them together, the holes will match up perfectly and the binder ring will just slip right in there. Okay. The next thing we need to do is cut our chipboard pieces. So I've got 3 sheets of chipboard right here, and I need to cut 9 strips of 8 by 4 inch pieces. So I'm going to cut one side down to 8. Okay, I've got my 9 4 by 8 pieces of chipboard, and then now what I need to do is I need to punch all of these in my cinch on the 8-inch side. So I'm going to do that off camera so you don't have to watch. And then I'll come back and show you what's next. Alright, now I've got all 9 sheets of my chipboard punched at the top. And I'm sure there's mathematically a lot easier way to do this, but I didn't really want to take the time. So I just did it like this. And now after you have gone through and punched all of your holes, you need to cut them into their respective sizes. So they're going to be 2 inches wide by 4 inches long. Alright, so all my chipboard is punched. I made a mistake. Like I told you, I made these directions up. I forgot that every 4th punch was going to have it be cut in half because of the way I was cutting it. So I'm going to fix it with my pattern paper on my cinch. There'll just be extra holes on my binding, but that's okay. I don't really mind. So set those aside. The next thing you need to do is cut your paper to match your chipboard pieces. I wanted fun, girly, cute, this is for my own personal use, paper that would also be easy to stamp on because I'll be stamping the days and the months and things like that. So this is all actually from the Nana's Nursery Baby Girl stack. I have that stack from another project and I had paper left over. So I have kind of like an orange, and then there's like a pink and a green polka dot. And this is going to be what makes up, they're going to cover the chipboard pieces, and I'm going to stamp the numbers and the weeks and the months. So just like you did with the chipboard pieces, you need to cut these down to 4 by 8 inch sections. Okay, I've got all of my paper cut, and this time, instead of just punching the whole row and then pulling peg 4, I pulled every 4th peg, so that way it would line up with the chipboard pieces, and you'd still get your 3 pegs in there, but then this one wouldn't be cut in half, so the paper will cover that up. So I'm gonna do 3. So now these will all cut evenly when I cut them with my paper trimmer. Okay, I adhered all of my pieces of cardstock to all the little pieces of chipboard, and then I went ahead and I stamped the months of the year, the days of the week, and then the actual numbered days of the week. I used my Memento Tuxedo Black ink. The months of the year I got from Recollections Flourish Months stamp set, and each of the months looks a little bit different. And they're really cute. And then for everything else I got from the Inkadinkado Months and Days stamp set. And then for the months, I took my Versamark, and this is the Inkadinkado Sketchy Flourish stamp set. And with clear embossing powder, I put a little flourish on each of the months of the year. So now they are all ready to go. So I need to get my base back and turn it to wherever I want the front to be. And then I've got my black O-wires, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put every 3 is going to have a set of O-wires. So I need to take my wire cutters. So 1, 2, 3. Okay. Put these together, and then I'm just going to thread my O-wire through each one. Okay, the next thing I need to do is I'm putting these on backwards, so that way the seam will be hidden. I'm gonna start with these, flip them over. Now I've got my cinch, and I'm going to lay this down in the binding part. Make sure that this is set to 3/4, and then I'm just going to slowly. Okay, so my calendar is done, and it's got the month, the day and then the actual number day of what it is today, and then I can just flip it back and forth depending on what day it is. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed. I'll put the full recipe on my blog, and have a fabulous day.